Hey, Vinyl Community, Doodah Dave, coming at you here on a rainy Friday. I want to do a quick video on debuts from the 1970s. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this. I'm gonna do 10, and in no particular order. So let's dive right into it. Okay, I did debuts from the 60s, so I thought I would do this for the 70s, and then I'm going to do this as a break, and then I'll get back to my years. I think I'm up to 1976. This is the debut album from the Doobie Brothers. It was on Warner, right? Yeah, Warner signed them. Warner 1919. This had Tom Johnston and Pat Simmons from the band Now. And then the other guys, Sjogren was on bass, Dave Sjogren, and John Hartman on drums, who was on drums through, I think, Captain and Me, maybe the Vices album. And then the drummers changed, I think, around taking it to the streets. Anyway, this is a great album. The lead-off single, Nobody, they released a couple of times. Here's the back cover as a single. What else standouts on here? There's a Randy Newman cover on here, which is unusual for the brothers, Doobie Brothers. They don't do. Produced by Lenny Waronker. I put a post up for him because he's getting an award from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And Ted Templeman, that worked with Nicolette Larson, that worked with Little Feat. Just a fantastic producer. Ted Templeman. A lot of other people too. What else is on here? There's a lot of kind of like country picking stuff on here. Really growing a little each day is a nice song. Closer Every Day, Pat Simmons, and they Johnston and Simmons pretty much take turns on the songwriting on this. Doobie Brothers first album. Check it out. I think, if you're a Doobie Brothers fan, it's there on the Palm Tree label on Warner's. I think you'll like that. I mean, is it the best Doobie Brothers album? No, it's not the best Doobie Brothers album. Doobie Brothers have a lot of amazing albums. Their second album, Toulouse Street, had Listen to the Music on it, which is probably their biggest hit. So this was right before this, but it's tight. It's really good. It's really good. Skip Spence is on here from Moby Grape. Recorded up in San Mateo Pacific Recording Studios. So Doobie Brothers. Okay, moving right along. Like I said, I don't have these in any particular order. This guy, Steve Winwood, coming hot off the. This is his first solo album in 1970. I want to say 7. This was an interesting album. He had other people writing with him. Capaldi, of course, and also Viv Stanshall wrote with him on this. I think it was 77. Really good band backing up Reebok, Kwaku Ba, of course, from Traffic and the Welcome to the Canteen album. Andy Newmark on drums, Willie Weeks on bass. Capaldi on another album on drums, of course, Willie Weeks. Alan Spenner, a bass guitar, a British session guy. John Suswell on drums. Willie Weeks and Andy Newmark holding it down. So very nice sounding. Recorded at Island, I believe. Mastered by Lee Holko at Sterling Sound. Hold On, Vacant Chair. Again, this is a debut, like I said, with the Doobies. Is this the best Steve Winwood album? I mean, Back on the High Life, you got all the Traffic stuff, you got Blind Faith, you've got Spencer Davis, you got an awful deep discography to dive into here. But for the first solo album, and a little fun fact, as my son would say, on the Steve Winwood solo album. His first solo album was going to be John Barleycorn Must Die, but that turned into a Traffic album. And it's got the black Island labels with the eye on it. You see that? Black Island upside down. There we go. And the vinyl's in pretty good shape. So I like this album. You know, his second one. No, he had Talking Back to the Night, and there was another one. I think Arc of a Diver was the fourth one. There was another one in there too. Talking Back to the Night, or maybe I gotta look that up. Arc of a Diver might have been three, but this is a, what do they say? An auspicious debut, worth picking up. Some nice songwriting, singing, and tight playing, and he was getting into those 80 grooves and stuff, which is cool. Everybody knows this album, debut of the Cars. Just got this on vinyl, so I thought I would highlight this on Elektra. The Cars, also on the Doors label, also on Carly Simon's label, Jack Holzman. And this was produced by Roy Thomas Baker, who had also worked with Queen, who also worked with Electric Light Orchestra, I believe. And just, this was 78. This is great sounding, and almost every song on this. This is arguably the Cars' greatest album, too. I do like Candy O a lot. Heartbeat City's got some good stuff on it. Panorama. But this is pretty fierce. Good Times Roll, Best Friend's Girl, Just What I Needed. Don't You Stop, You've All I've Got Tonight, Bye Bye Love, Moving in Stereo. Almost every song I think there's 6 songs that scored hits on this. And there's the band. See them there. Okay, Sick and the Guys, Elliot Easton, etc. All right, so Cars on Elektra, 78. Moving along with debuts. You know, this guy, again, now some people say the first was Jackson Browne's best album. It was his purest. No, it's not called Saturate Before Using. He used a water bottle from California. That's the story on this. It says, but when the CD came out, they printed the Saturate Before Using, so a lot of people call it Saturate Before Using. Has his session guys on here, you know, Leland Sklar, Russell Kunkel as a rhythm section, and a lot of other great people. Lindley, I don't think, is on this. He had Sneaky Pete on pedal steel, Jim Gordon on organ, which is interesting, Albert Lee on guitar of the English Albert Lee session guy, and Jesse Ed Davis on Dr. My Eyes, who played with Taj Mahal and some other people. I think he was also on Jesse Ed Davis played in Bangladesh. He played in one of those big benefit concerts. Who else? David Crosby doing harmonies. Great album. Jamaica Say You Will, Dr. My Eyes, Song for Adam, My Opening Farewell. You know, Bonnie Raitt's covered a bunch of these. Linda Ronstadt, Something Fine, about smoking weed. Geffen Roberts, you know, this was one of the first albums on the Geffen label, Asylum, that he eventually signed Joni Mitchell to, and got the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Well, they were on Atlantic, so it was part of the Atlantic family. And just a great album. Here's the label. One of the best. Like, now this one, as a debut, a lot of people think that's Jackson's best. My favorite, I like it, Late for the Sky, the second one, but the first 5 albums were fantastic through Running on Empty, which I guess is 4 or 5. I did the live one. Okay, which had a lot of the same people on it. Good. Richard Betts, you probably know this guy from the Allman Brothers. This was his debut. Very country. You know, he'd had a hit with Ramblin' Man. This came out in 74, right after the hit of Brothers and Sisters, and on the heels of Eat a Peach and all that, and the deaths of Duane Allman and Barry Oakley, of course. Great people on here, all pretty much bluegrass guys. Chuck Leavell from the Allman Brothers plays keyboards, which he also did on Greg Allman's solo album. Interesting enough, they shared him. John Huey on pedal steel. Vassar Clements on. Vassar Clements was a very busy man in 73, 74 because he was playing on this album with Dickie Betts. Here's the back with all the players and a nice dobro there. And he was playing with Jerry Garcia and the Dead. on the Wake of the Flood album, and then he was also playing with doing the fiddle in Olin and the Way in Jerry's bluegrass band. So this was definitely a cool album. It's got some rockers, Long Time Gone, but it's it's mostly pretty country, laid back. Produced by Johnny Sandlin, longtime Allman Brothers engineer and producer, and recorded at Capricorn Studios in Macon, of course. And anybody else? They said Tommy Talton is on here from Cowboy. Who else? That's pretty much it. And the second side is pretty much a jam. Kissin' Me Kid is a song Vassar came up with and then handpicked before that. So there's a lot of acoustic and a lot of country. If you like Allman Brothers and you like country, acoustic, Ramblin' Man type, pick up Highway Call. Okay, moving into the jazz realm, of course, we had some debuts, and I probably next one I'm going to do another one, but I grabbed this one, Intermounting Flame. This was 71, the beginning. Rick Laird on bass, the great Billy Cobham on drums. Most of these guys had played with Miles, of course. McLaughlin did, and Miles was so impressed with McLaughlin, he put him on Jack Johnson, and then on Bitches Brew had a song named John McLaughlin. So he said, John, you need to go start your own band, and he did. Jan Hammer on keys, went on to the Miami Vice theme and solo work. Jerry Goodman on the fiddle, and who did I win? Billy, and Rick Laird on bass. Yeah. So this is a really great album, Intermounting Flame on Columbia. Probably most people know it. Is it the best Mahavishnu Orchestra album? Some people think it is. It's very pure. It's very loud. It's very fast. But they spread out and did a lot of other types of things. The live album, Birds of Fire, which has Miles Beyond and Thousand Island Park on it. And the live album, Between Nothingness and Eternity, and then the George Martin albums, Apocalypse that he did with the orchestra, and then Visions of the Emerald Beyond. I like all of them, so I couldn't pick any of them. But Meeting of the Spirits on this is on Columbia. He was on Miles. You got Miles. That's a lot of juice. If you go from, it's got this cool insert. I'll show you with Sri Chinmoy. They had all these gurus. These guys had Sri Chinmoy, and Return to Forever had L. Ron Hubbard. Yes, Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, but at least their gurus didn't get in the way. Townsend had Mayor Baba. We should probably do a whole thing about musicians' gurus. But this is cool. It's got, a poem and the Intermounting Flame and all that. Favorite songs, Dance of Maya, You Know, Meeting of the Spirits, Noonward Race. They did a lot of these live. They were fantastic. Dawn, Awakening. Every song on here, I think, is fabulous. Intermounting Flame. Got some ringware. It's an oldie. This guy, I didn't know this was Joe Jackson's first album, and this was loaded with hits. Again, a lot of people think it's his best. I would probably pick Night and Day. I haven't played it because it got so much airplay. It's one of those. It's sort of like Zeppelin 4, but I do love it, and I would probably pick it as my favorite Joe Jackson. There's Joe, looking like the angry young man. And his shoes, which he got a lot of grief for, which kind of looks like the shoes on El Dorado with the red shoes to me, but those were actually his shoes. His band, Gary Sanford, Graham Mabey, Dave Houghton on drums, and Joe on the piano vocals, and he does harmonica. Sunday Papers is great. Is She Really Going Out With Him was the big hit. One More Time. It's great. It's great. Everything. This is a fantastic debut. On the A&M album label, there's a label, and Joe with the band. Well, not with the band, but Joe solo. So going a little bit more obscure, but in the same, I like the California singer-songwriter Carla Bonoff. Now, Carla, this is her debut album. Picture of Carla, young songwriter. I'm going to read you the people that are on this in a minute, but Someone to Lay Down Beside Me. So I know Linda Ronstadt covered that. Lose Again, Bonnie Raitt covered that. Home, Bonnie Raitt covered that. And there's one more cover on here. I Can't Hold On, I think somebody covered one of the two of them, or maybe somebody else. Now listen to the people that are on this album. This was on Columbia also. Carla got a deal on Columbia. I don't know neither. I think Linda was on Capitol at this time, and Bonnie was on Warner. So I don't know how she got Columbia. Maybe Columbia wanted to make her into a competition for the two of them. Russell Kunkel on drums, Leland Sklar, familiar names, right? Carla on the piano and vocals, Waddy Wachtel on guitar, played with Warren Zevon and so many other percussion, Steve Foreman. Who else we got on here? Let's go down to some of the harmony vocals. Kenny Edwards, who was pretty much the band leader for Linda Ronstadt, and Brock Walsh, I don't know Brock. Andrew Gold also played guitar with Kenny, did the lead guitar. Kenny did the rhythm and the keyboards and stuff. Emery Gordy, John Ware on drums, and Greg Landy on finger cymbals. Now, Greg Landy you'll see a lot on albums, but usually in the engineering and recording facility, not playing an instrument. Dan Dugmore, pedal steel. He played pedal with Linda mostly. So it was clearly her. And then backup vocals, Wendy Wallman, who was also a writer, also a female vocalist. So you've got some outstanding people on here. Second side is much of the side. Oh, here's background vocals, a couple people you might know. Glenn Frey and John David Souther. Glenn Frey of the Eagles, of course, and John David Souther, who was Linda's boyfriend at the time and also was writing with Glenn and Don Henley in the Eagles. They did a lot of John David Souther songs. I don't know why John David never joined the Eagles. They had so many people in and out. I think he didn't want to. I think he saw all what was going on with the guitars and the bass players, what Glenn and Don were doing, so he wanted to stay out of all that drama, and was probably pretty smart to do so. So that's that. More Linda singing backup, and it's a great, great album. Beautiful. A little sad, a little, early, what was this, 70, this was 77. It's got that LA, Fleetwood Mac, that whole thing. Linda, Bonnie, Fleetwood Mac, Warren, Linda. There was a vibe to that. There was a genre to that, as there was to the San Francisco music, in the late 60s, early 70s. This is the label on Columbia, pretty standard Columbia label. Carla Bonoff, check it out. Very, very, very good songwriter. And to hear her do the songs, her interpretations are good. Speaking of good female songwriters, it doesn't get much better than Carole King. Now, I did not know, your wonderful host, Duda Dave here, always thought Tapestry was her first album, because I never really saw or heard this album. Is it as good as Tapestry? I'll tell you right off, it's not. But it is her debut. It does have Up on the Roof, which was a big hit, of course, for James Taylor and earlier. It's got Going Back. The songs on it are good. The recording is good. James Taylor plays on it. Plays guitar on it. You've got she got Danny Korchmar, who played with Leland and Russell, we talked about before. He was the guitar player. John Fishback and Ralph Schuckett and Joel O'Brien played keys. You had a lot of keyboard people. It's a good sounding record. Is it a Tapestry? No. Is it as good as music? No. But it's Carole, and it's her debut, and it's worth picking up. I think just for Up on the Roof, I think Up on the Roof is probably the best song on here. And there's the guys from the band looking this was 70. This was 70 because Tapestry was 71. So there's Carole, and kind of a collage there. There's James in the middle, and she was very tight with James, and everybody knows the story. James told her to. If you saw Beautiful, James wasn't really featured in it, but they had the thing with her and Jerry Goffin kind of competing with Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil. This is the album on Ode, which was one of the spin-offs from A&M, I believe. And I believe Elton John was also on Ode. Yes. Got a sticker on there. And Last one, you might know this guy, right? Pretty good songwriter, pretty good debut. Here's another album that I got wrong. When you listen to, I guess it's the Wings' greatest hits, Just Another Day. I always thought that was on this album, but it was a single. It's not, but it does have. Maybe I'm Amazed was the big hit on this. Is this Paul's best solo album or best Wings album? No. Is it worth having? Yes. It's Linda and him. Mostly, I don't know how much Denny. I don't think Denny came in till the Wings album, till Wildlife, and then it was Ram, and then the Wildlife. But this was fresh out of the Beatles. He's got his kids. Linda did all the pictures, of course, being the photographer. And it's, again, worth having on the Apple label, of course. There it is. McCartney. And a great, cover photo. Aside from, that would be something. I think those are the two best songs on here. Maybe I'm Amazed, and that would be something. Some kind of experimental stuff, some kind of acoustical stuff. He was stretching out. He was doing stuff that he couldn't do with the Beatles, or hadn't done with the Beatles, or wouldn't do with the Beatles. And great. That's it for debuts in the 70s. I went a little bit longer. I wanted to try to make this tight, but I will see you soon. And I think next time I'm going to do 76. So staying with you. I got my Billy Joel t-shirt on. Happy birthday, Billy. He's 73 today. Yesterday was another Billy's birthday, Billy Kreutzmann from the Grateful Dead. Happy birthday to him. Shout out to all my peeps. Tony, LPs Are Us. Kenny's audiophile, great jazz reviews, records out of LA and other good stuff. And all my peeps out in the VC. So keep on spinning. Talk to you soon.